You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 447 for Sunday the 19th of March 2023.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello, and how are you, Jane?
Hello, Michelle. I'm very well, thank you. And it's Mothering Sunday, isn't it, in the UK? So happy Mother's Day, all our listeners out there.
Is thank you to every single one of you. And it's great for our American friends because we get to wish you it twice.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't know when the American one is. That's very bad. It's more summery time, isn't it?
Yeah, and ours is all connected to Easter and things like that. So it's really weird how it works out. And I keep sending the Wikipedia information over to some of our American friends who sort of say, how's it worked out? And I said, yeah, Wikipedia. So,
yeah, because everything's on Wikipedia.
Yeah, and sometimes it's even right on Wikipedia.
Occasionally, yeah.
It's been known. I gather from last week's show I've got a request from Kat from Diz Down Under because I was so croaky she wants me to sing Poor Unfortunate Souls from The Little Mermaid.
Well, I suppose, yes, you have got that sort of gravelly undertone going on, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't think I'll inflict our listeners to my gravelly undertones of Pat Carroll because basically we want you to keep listening.
Yeah, please keep listening.
Yeah. But yes, as you said, it is Mother's Day. I have no plans apart from resting and making me have a nice easy day. Although there might be a little bit of tad frantic packing going on around the house on that night because it's getting closer to that 1st of April date.
I know, it's kind of scary for you because obviously your date's fast approaching. I've got celebration fast approaching. We had fittings this week on our Jedi costumes, and in a few days' time after this podcast is released, we go for our final fitting. So please keep all fingers and toes crossed that it's all lovely jubbly and we can just then bring it home. And then we've got to dye our tunic part as well. So we're not quite there yet, and it's cutting it very. I feel like I'm in one of those reality TV programs, you know, where they get given so many hours to do a task and you see the time just ticking away. That's what it's feeling like a little bit at the moment.
And can I just say, I'm glad you added something more to the sentence with the word dye in it, because I was starting to panic.
No, we have to go from a very, very almost white tunic to a creamy off-white sort of colour. It's very particular, Michelle. You would appreciate this, having spoken with Simon, that getting cosplay right is quite an art form, never mind the actual constructing of it. It's an attention to detail that you don't normally get, I don't think, in normal life, shall we say, because it's like there is this way to do it or not, and it's like, right, okay, so forums galore and making sure we've got the right colours, the right presentation, the right stitching, oh, you name it. Yeah, we've been there through it.
Right, well, shall we hop on over and have a little bit of history?
We shall indeed. Now, you know what? I couldn't actually find an awful lot for the 19th, the actual day, so I'm going to go either side, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to have to be either side, isn't it? So 18th of March, in a very good year, 1967, the year I was born, we see the Pirates of the Caribbean opened in New Orleans Square at Disneyland. Yeah, 1967 that opened. It kicked off with a group of marauding sea dogs led by Wally Bogue, bursting through the attraction's doors with a battering ram. Didn't know that. Seems an interesting way to launch an attraction. But there you go. Yeah. And also at the same time, the Blue Bayou restaurant actually opened as well in conjunction with that. Moving forward a lot of years now to 2008. And this is really quite a little sad story, this one. This is a Pixar artist by the name of Justin Wright who passed away on this day in 2008 at the age of 27, which I thought was just awful. He was born with some congenital heart defects and actually had a heart transplant at the age of 12. And he benefited from the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which meant he got a trip to Disney World. And he said this is where his love of animation and storytelling all came together, so much so that he actually went to the California Institute of Arts in California, obviously. But prior to going there, he actually worked as a production assistant at Pixar. But he wanted to make sure that he got his education sorted, so he actually left, went and did his graduation, his college program at California Institute of the Arts, in the hope that he could actually get back to Pixar, which he actually did. And he actually is credited with the line drawings that you see at the end of Ratatouille. He also did the storyboards for Wall-E and worked on the short film Presto. And if you watch Wall-E, it actually says it's dedicated in loving memory of Justin Wright, which I thought was a lovely story. It's heartbreaking that, such a short life, but obviously he achieved what he wanted to do most in the world. So it's kind of a bittersweet sort of story, I feel, for that day.
I think it's an inspirational thing that if you have a dream, grasp it, seize it, follow it, and there is a very good chance that your dream can come true.
Absolutely. Life is too short, as they say, and that kind of epitomises that. Going to go forward now to the 20th of March, as it's Oscar season, or just been Oscar season, 1948. I think it's quite poignant to mention this, because it ties into a ride that is now no longer at Magic Kingdom. So this was the 20th Academy Awards, and Disney won 2 Oscars for the film Song of the South. So Ali Rubel and Ray Gilbert won for their song Zippity Doo-Dah, and actor James Baskett won an honorary award for his portrayal of Uncle Remus, which meant that it made him the first black male actor to ever win an Academy Award, and the first actor to win an Oscar for performance in a Disney feature. Unfortunately, I think, as we all know, he died at the age of 44, which was 4 months after he received this honorary award. But I just thought quite poignant with all the kerfuffle, shall we say, around Song of the South. I think it's really important that we do remember these facts, that they were groundbreaking at the time that the film was done, and it says a piece of history, and we should be remembered as such. So there you go.
Well, thank you for all your lovely historical tidbits. I've got some history.
Oh, okay.
On this day, on the 1st of December 2013, something quite miraculous happened, Jane. Have you any idea?
No.
None at all?
No.
It involves you.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, crikey. I just shows. See, I've got old lady brain. That's my excuse.
Yeah, I've got old lady brain fog brain, so yeah. Well, I was quite stunned by this because I was listening to another podcast the other day and they were talking about their 5th anniversary, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, oh, hang on a minute. How long have we been doing this malarkey? And
Too long?
I think many of our listeners might have said that, yeah. And I had a little look back, and our very first announcement on social media as the Disney Dream Girls was on the 1st of December 2013.
So we're almost at 10 years.
We're almost 10 years old, so we need to do something spectacular in December.
We do indeed. Crikey me. Where, to quote the quintessential phrase, where does the time go?
I know. I wouldn't have thought it's been 10 years where me and thee are either together or via Skype, having a little bit of chat about something that's brought us together as friends, but also has brought us together with lots of other people in our Disney Dream Girls family, and they have now been sort of welcomed into our lives, and I feel my life's definitely much more enriched by the number of people I've met through loving Disney.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've said it repeatedly on the show, Michelle. Whatever Disney may be going through at any particular time in its history, whether it's ups or downs or whatever, there is a love there for this particular phenomenon that means people come together, we share our stories, we may have, the moments where we wonder what they're doing, or we may have high moments, but we have our memories, and I think it's by sharing those memories and those experiences that we can enrich each other's lives, and say our friendships grow and blossom, and whether it's people we've met in person like you and I, or whether it's just people that we know, through the show we've only ever met virtually. It doesn't really matter, does it? It's like, our own little special community.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% in agreement. So thinking about that, Jane, I thought we would start having a discussion about how we would like to tackle our imaginary day in the Magic Kingdom by looking at some of the attractions and later on some of the snacks that make our day completely complete.
Okay.
So I'm going to kick us off, and I'm going to be really OCD with this, so apologies to those people that would rather me go around Fantasyland and whatever. I'm doing it my way. You know, I've been doing this now for 10 years, so I can be quite selfish and say, right, I'm doing it my way.
I'm going to say, I think we've deserved that, Michelle, don't you?
Yeah. I could sing, but I think Cat and Lewis from Dis Down Under again might complain.
Wait till your voice is better.
Oh, God, I don't even think I could pull that one off even with good voice, Jane. I really don't. So, first place I am going to be talking about is the Astro Orbiter. And at Walt Disney World, this rocket spinner is based on top of a building where you have to get to through a magical lift. But did you know this attraction is actually in 5 Disneyland-style parks around the world with slightly different names or slightly different ride vehicles, except for Tokyo.
Oh, okay.
And it's one of those classic vehicles that you get in and you turn your joystick up or down or whatever to go up and down. It's very iconic as a great attraction for the littlies or older ones who like these types of things. Do you know what? I was sat thinking the other night, and the last time I probably did this attraction was 2013. It's not one I tend to put up with a very long queue for.
Well, you know what, Michelle? As I'm sat here and we're talking about it, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I've got a memory of going on Astro Orbiter. Then I realised it's not the one in Florida that I have a memory of. It's the one in Paris that I have a memory of.
Oh.
I don't think, crikey, I don't think I've ridden the one in the Magic Kingdom.
Wow. Shall I share my top tip, Jane?
Go on then.
August, nighttime, with a storm in the distance. And if you look it, you will see some amazing lightning.
Yeah, cool.
But what could be safer than being 100 billion feet up in the air in a Astrojet, holding a mobile phone, trying to get a picture of lightning? Nothing in the world could be safer.
No. But they must have a lightning rod on it. Surely to goodness. It's Florida. They've got to.
Well, we'll see. It's a great little attraction, and I must admit, it's something I would like to revisit. But for me, if the queue's longer than 20 minutes, it's not one I'm going to wait for, because it's a bit of a long wait for something that is very generic.
Yeah.
And if I was going for that type of attraction, there's a better theme for me in another one of these rides later on in our discussion.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Michelle, and it probably explains why I haven't actually ridden the Magic Kingdom version. I'm trying to think back to when we went with the children when they were little, and whether we actually went on it then or not. But I don't think I have. So, but yeah, I'm kind of the same opinion as you, really.
Barnstormer?
Barnstormer. So this is kind of aimed for the kiddiewigs sort of thing, because I would say perfect for me. Because we all know how much Jane loves a roller coaster, don't we?
It's just your level, Jane, isn't it?
It is kinda, but I always think it's one of those ones that I always think of Casey Jr. at Disneyland Paris as well with this. You kind of get on it, and it always it looks very genteel, and then it's one of those ones that kind of takes you a little bit by surprise. It's a little bit more throwy around, rougher than you perhaps think it's going to be.
No, I agree.
If that makes sense, But I do think it's a great introduction, though, for kids. I mean, as much as I'm not the roller coaster person in this family, I have to say that Moles and Ethan both are. So I'm glad I haven't passed on my hesitancy, shall we say, to the kids. At least they're more up for throwing themselves around and upside down than I am.
Yeah. And it's a nice attraction to go on if the queue's not too long while you're in that part of the park. And it has got, as you say, a little bit of a bite to it as well. And it just, you can't help but come off that attraction and be giggly.
Well, it's goofy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know it's not necessarily anything innovative. Again, it's a little bit like it is a generic type of roller coaster. There's nothing, there's no, I don't know, hidden newness or unusualness in it or anything like that. But it does its job. I say it's a great introduction for kids, and it's presented with a good dollop of humour.
Absolutely. For me, the next one, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, is a must multiple do at any time in a Disney theme park, because it is in a similar incarnation in different parks around the Disney theme park world. But I do like the Magic Kingdom one because it was the first Big Thunder I ever got to ride on, and over the time it has had some upgrades to it. It's great at daytime, it's great on a night. It's been in operation since November 15th, 1980.
Wow.
And it's just a really good ride. It's got some great relics from mining past as you're wandering through the queue. I love the nice little nods to the Imagineers that are in there. And I like the fact that the version in Paris is slightly different. The version in California is slightly different. So each time you can have a different experience. And whilst some might be faster or differently themed, they all can guarantee for our roller coaster thrill people, it's going to be fun. And I'd probably wait maybe 45, 50 minutes. I'd obviously try and get a timing in with the fireworks because, oh my word, how magical. But even during the daytime, it's a great place to go. The only time I would try and avoid it is in the midday sun because, oh boy, that ride queue can be a little bit brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it is a must do for me. I know I've just said I'm not a big roller coaster person, but I don't mind these it's the upside downy ones that I'm not big on. But yeah, it's a must do. And again, I agree with you, Shell. 45, 50 minute, maybe an hour at a push, definitely.
I wouldn't necessarily indulge in paying for a lightning lane for this type of attraction, because there's always going to be some part of the day where the queue is lighter.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing. I think it's a case of if you are going to, spend your money on Genie Plus or whatever, then I think there's better things to spend to get your money for value for, other than Big Thunder, just purely because it doesn't really have mega silly wait times.
Yeah.
Although obviously at the moment, I suppose with Splash being down, that might change things a little bit.
True. What about Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin?
Yeah, I love Buzz Lightyear. I can't do it. I'm rubbish at it. Absolutely rubbish at it. And if I do manage to win, it is a fluke. And a number of times I've been on this and I'll have another member next to me, normally a child, telling me, not children anymore, I can't call them a child, can I? But, one of my offspring telling me what to do. And I'll be going, yes, but that's what I'm doing. Why is it not working? I turn into proper mum mode on this ride because I am inept at it. But I love it because it was like...
You see, it's bright, it's colourful, it's bold, It's brash, it's incredibly well themed, but I hate it with a passion because I'm rubbish at it.
I don't hate it. I just recognise the fact that I'm rubbish at it.
Yeah. And I think that there are those cheat sheets that you can Google and they'll tell you which bits to... I always forget, even if I print them out, they're in my pocket and then I forget to get them out of my pocket.
Yeah, but there's two things with that, Michelle. One, that's taking the fun out of it. And two, even if I had the cheat sheet in front of me, it wouldn't make any difference to me whatsoever because I would still miss it and you still hear me saying, but that's what I did. Why is it not working? So what's the point?
Yeah. Okay. Cinderella's Castle. Well, this is something that it's an iconic thing that you have to have your picture taken in front of the castle. Otherwise, you can't prove that you've been there.
This is very true, yeah.
I love the fact that daytime, nighttime, it looks different. I love the fact it's lighted. I love the fact that it is the icon of the park, and there are many different places in the park you can go to get the most amazing view of this beautiful fairy tale castle. In my opinion, it's not the nicest castle in the whole castle portfolio. However, it is a wonderful icon where you can go and see the stage shows. It's the backdrop for the end of evening celebration. Obviously, it's an opening day attraction.
Yeah.
It's based on a whole host of different castles throughout the whole place. So there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And the chief designer, Herb Ryman, used a lot of information from the castle in the film franchise of Cinderella, as well as the Sleeping Beauty castle, which was over at Disneyland, or is at Disneyland, should I say.
Yeah, I mean, it's say you can't go to Disney World and not do the castle. It's just kind of, and that goes for any park that you go to. And I would agree with you, Shell. I think we know that Disneyland Paris probably is the most iconic, beautiful landscaped castle, but I do love Cinderella. I think because I always consider Disney World to be my home park anyway, and I think there is that element of, like, you know, go and walk around and look at it from different angles and appreciate it, and you can get those nice little photo opportunities, so you know you're not just getting the straight on stood in front of it type of thing. So lots to explore and lots to appreciate about it.
How many bricks were used in its construction, Jane? Estimate, roughly.
A lot.
None.
Oh, I should have known that. Yes, go on, tell me.
No bricks were used in its construction, but 600 tons of steel braced frame construction with a 10-inch thick reinforced concrete wall encircled the structure. So if there's going to be a hurricane, that's where you'll find me with several Dole Whips.
Just to see it out, yeah.
Yeah. But it is, you're right, it's a must-do. Now,
Definitely.
I'm taking you to your must-do, because it's definitely not one of mine, Country Bear Jamboree.
Don't you like the Country Bear Jamboree, Michelle?
I just think it's all very weird, Jane.
Weird.
Yeah, I've tried liking it. People have taken me and sat me down and explained so much why they passionately love it, why they've got posters and pictures and replica films and all of this lot about this attraction, but I just think it's weird. And I'm not going to go into the whole details because it's a bit inappropriate for the littlies that might be listening, but there's some of those songs and lyrics I'm thinking, what? That is just bonkeroony.
I think it's very much of its time, but I'm a bit of an old softie, so I kind of like these things that hark back to another era, I suppose you could say. So maybe that's why I kind of like it. But I'm not an obsessive. I've not got posters and that sort of thing.
I will give you that it is a good place to go and get a nap. Sorry, air conditioning break. But yeah, some love it, some don't, and it's a place to go. End of.
It is a bit of what we would term a Marmite attraction, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, Disney do have one or two of those. Next one then is going to be me talking about Dumbo.
Yay, love a bit of Dumbo.
Opening day attraction. And the good thing about Dumbo is you don't just get one spinner, you get two.
Yay.
So there are 16 rider vehicles in each, and some people have a particular favourite colour to go and rush for. The only thing that I personally would say about this attraction that still grosses me out is the indoor children's play area when you're an adult. I don't feel comfortable going in there and seeing parents changing nappies and children cartwheeling and showing off their underwear. I just rather just go and wait in the line and no. But it's an attraction that you can quite frequently get on within 10-15 minutes, and whether daytime or night term, if you pull that lever up to the top, you are going to get some amazing views.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of memories of when it used to be in what I suppose you'd now term old Fantasyland, and it was always a very popular attraction. I think having the two spinners now makes it so much better, because it was always the quintessential, very busy, slow loader attraction beforehand. So, but again, it's that element of it's quintessential attraction that's because it harks back to the original opening. It plays into all my soft spots, and I've got beautiful memories of taking Molly on it when she was very young, and it obviously being a 3-year-old, loving going on it as most 3-year-olds do. So yeah.
Couple of quick facts for you. In all the incarnations around the world, they all have an extra Dumbo vehicle located outside the attraction for guests to get a photo opportunity, thus to ensure smooth loading and quick loading of people onto the vehicle, because who doesn't want a picture of them in a Dumbo?
True.
With the exception of Disneyland Paris.
Oh, okay.
And another fact is that all of the Dumbos, with the exception of the new Dumbo, new 2012, in Walt Disney World, they all spin counterclockwise. However, the newer Dumbo in Walt Disney World spins clockwise.
Didn't appreciate that.
See, I'm full of this useless information, Jane.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it now, but thank you, Michelle.
So let's just move on a few that we're not really going to talk much about. We've got Enchanted Tales with Belle. We've got the Frontierland Shooting Arcade. And then the next one, really, it's not really an attraction. It's more a passive experience of the Hall of Presidents. So shall we hop to a favourite of yours, which possibly could be the Haunted Mansion?
Well, who doesn't like the Haunted Mansion?
Weird people.
Well, yeah, true. You'd have to be weird not to actually like the Haunted Mansion, wouldn't you, really? I mean, it's a classic attraction. I mean, it's a shame we don't get the Christmas overlay like they do in Disneyland. That would be quite nice, thank you very much. But, yeah, what's not to like about it? It does what it says on the tin, so to speak.
It's an attraction that you can revisit and go on lots and lots of times, because each time you're going to see a different thing, regardless of if you sat on the left on the Doom Buggy or on the right of the Doom Buggy. Maybe you are in the main queue and you get to do all that interactive element. I really love that. And it's just great. I love it. And it is even better knowing that if the vehicle has a ride breakdown, you're going to get some really good pictures.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's the with a lot of the dark rides, isn't it? It's kind of for us Disney nerds, it's a quintessential. Oh, go on, please break down, just so I can say that I've been stuck on it, and B, I can get some interesting photos from this ride.
Or even better, to be ride-evac from it.
Well, yes, that would be pretty cool, actually, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Anyway, we digress. So we've got a few other bits and pieces going along the road. We're now going to pull over and have a little bit of Jungle Cruise chat. And did you know, Jane, at the moment, the Jungle Cruise is coming up at consistently over 30-minute ride waits.
Wow, okay.
It seems to be one of those places that is really tricky. And like last year on my holiday, even with Genie Plus, it was really difficult to get one of these reservations because it was in that much demand. They'd sell out by early afternoon. I love the queue. I love the attraction. I love it even more when we play Jungle Cruise Bingo.
Yes.
It's a good little ride.
It is. Again, it's going back to part of the heritage of the Disney parks, isn't it? It's one of these original attractions. It's a proper family-based attraction. You can all go on it. Nobody's going to feel excluded. It's corny as what's it, and it's just it's a sort of ride. You come off, you feel like you've had a nice warm hug. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And talking of warm hugs, Michelle did her alphabet wrong. I've missed out. It's a Small World.
Well, I was going to say something. Don't you worry, Mrs.
We love it though.
Well, again, I think this is probably the reason that I'm drawn to the Magic Kingdom because it has these rides that are so formative in the development of the Disney parks. They are icons within their own rights, and they should be preserved and not tampered with, and they should be looked after, and they should be wrapped up in bubble wrap or whatever because they deserve to be, long-standing, like the Jungle Cruise and Haunted Mansion. It's a Small World, and I know we'll come on to others as well. They are your traditional family rides. You can go on and enjoy them, whether you're a solo traveller or whether you're with a great big group or whether you're as a couple. Anybody can enjoy these rides. And yes, we know the song's going to get stuck in your head, but that's the whole point of going to a theme park, is to get annoying, catchy tunes put in your head.
Absolutely.
Is it not?
Mad Tea Party, the one and only attraction in any theme park where you're going to come out stronger and physically fitter from spinning around the little metal thing in the middle to try and get as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah, or again, what Jane does is goes, right, children, you go in that one and I'll go in the other one because I know how fast you're going to spin it round and I don't want to feel sick, thank you very much.
I know, what is it with kids trying to get it going round as fast as they can?
Because that's what you do when you're a kid, and if you didn't do it, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I still think it should be overhauled to the Pete Burns attraction and it just plays, you spin me right round, baby, right round like a record. Sorry, I said I wouldn't sing.
I'm going to say, I was just about to say, you can't resist getting a tune in, can you?
I can't, it's just in my DNA, Jane. We're back to yet another rotating spinny ride. We've got Carpets of Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I've done it once. And that's mainly because I don't like going near the spitting camel.
No, I've done it a fair few times, but it's just a reincarnation, isn't it, of Dumbo, really. It's, again, I suppose it's like with stories. There's only so many stories out there. There's only so many rides out there, isn't it? It's a case of they are redone, repurposed, but with a different twist on them. And that's kind of what this one is.
Yeah. Pooh?
Excuse me?
Pooh.
Oh, the many adventures of.
Yes. Cute. The best bit is when you're tiggerific.
Bouncy, 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 bouncy.
Yeah. I'm not so much fun of the plague wall of honey as you're going through the queue. That does worry me slightly. But it is a nice attraction, it's fun for everyone, and it's a great little attraction that you can normally get on quite late at night when the kiddie winkles tend to be all zonked out in the strollers, and you can get on within a few minutes wait and you just literally walk up the line. It's great. There's also the character meet nearby. It's fun.
It is, and I have no problem with many adventures of Winnie the Pooh, apart from one.
What?
Well, you know what it replaced, don't you?
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which, in my opinion, should still be there. But I'm not bitter or twisted, and I will ride many adventures if I have to.
But it just gets me. Why are they putting in a popcorn bucket for an attraction that isn't at the Magic Kingdom?
I know, and I'm all for it. I love it, but I have to agree. It's... If this attraction is so revered, which it obviously is, then why did it go away?
Yeah, bonkers.
Mm.
Okay, going to whiz through a few of us. Philomagic, not really an attraction, but it is a show. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Monsters, Inc.
Monsters, Inc., yeah. It's a show.
It is.
It's interactive.
It is indeed. And it's a squirm under the chair if they put that camera on me, like.
I was just going to say, I think it's one of those things where perhaps it's our British sensibility, Michelle, but I always feel that it's a case of don't make eye contact with anything in case it's a camera. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Although there are some British extroverts out there, but they do tend to always seem to pick on our wonderful American friends because they're a little bit more outgoing than us.
Yeah.
Bless them.
But, a nice escape into some aircon for a few minutes, isn't it?
Yeah. The ride queues are very small as well, so that's a good thing.
Mm.
Peter Pan,
Peter Pan, another of our iconic dark rides that, we would not be without. It's, again, please look after this ride. Please maintain it. Please keep it going. But queue times, ouch.
Yeah, top tip is probably leave it to one of the later rides you do in the day, because it does get a lot smaller later on. Or you rush into the park and do it that way. A top tip from me, though, is to keep all crossed and pray to the theme park gods. It's an attraction I'd love to get evacuated from.
Ooh,
especially when it involves a step ladder.
I was going to say, because that's going to involve climbing out from a height, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or could involve climbing out from a height, shall we say?
I've seen it happen at Disneyland Paris, and I've seen pictures, so that's how I know they do it. And I haven't ever seen it happen at Walt Disney World. Listeners, tell me if I'm wrong. So I'm really excited that one day I might be the lucky one who gets a ride evac on Peter Pan.
It's funny, isn't it? As Disney fans, we're more excited about getting an evac than we are the ride.
I know. How about Yo-Ho for me, Jane?
Yo-Ho, Yo-Ho. Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean. Again, it's, this is, I hate to repeat myself, but it's an iconic ride. It's what this park is all about. Yeah, love it. Keep an eye on the wait times, because obviously it can get a little bit ridiculous, but if you see a decent one, grab it and go for it.
Do you know, last year it was always about 20 minutes. It was great to just walk into, have a little bit of time in those nice cooling caverns, and then have a ride, relax. But guys, if you're going to go on here, don't spend the time trying to book your next Genie Plus reservation, because it really annoys people with your bright light of your phone on when you are trying to immerse yourself in the pirate world.
And it goes for any dark ride, doesn't it, really? There's a reason why they say no flash photography and all that malarkey. So, yeah, I appreciate we all want to, make the most of our day. But, when you're on the ride, put your phone down and enjoy the ride.
Now, the next one, Jane, is going to be one of these attractions that you either have to put up and wait, or you have to run in at the beginning of the day. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Something I haven't done yet, Michelle.
It is worthwhile doing the actual full queue for seeing the interactive elements in the full queue. I don't that often do it, but I do remember last year at the Halloween party, we did do it as our very last line, and we got into line just before the park closed. And then it's a great thing because you're waiting on Disney's time, not your time. So even if the ride queue is 90 minutes, it's 90 minutes of Disney's time. It's very unlikely to be such a long wait at that time of the night towards the end. Back in the day when you could book a fast pass, it always used to be the one that had to get, you try and judge it really accurately to get a firework viewing on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, along with Splash Mountain. Cute ride, and you're really going to love it when you get to ride it, Jane.
Yeah, I mean, we were there, we're talking about back in 2013 when it was still under construction. So we kind of, just missed out. But, yeah, I'm desperate to ride this, and probably will be waiting an awfully long time to do it.
Space Mountain.
Space Mountain. Roller coaster in the dark.
44 inches or higher to get on this attraction.
And would you believe it? I have done this ride, Michelle.
Whoop, whoop.
I know. It was my... Just to show that and I would have regaled this story before, but I don't really do roller coasters, especially in the UK. I'm not interested at all. In America, it's different. I'm in a theme park and I'm immersing myself in that theme park atmosphere, and I will do these roller coasters. So Space Mountain was my first, back in 1991, was my first ever roller coaster, and it was in the dark.
Wow.
That was quite brave of me, really, wasn't it?
It was indeed. It's an attraction that if you go alpha or beta, it's alpha and omega, isn't it? Yeah, so if you go one or the other, it's slightly different experience. The thing that I hate about this attraction is that the walkway to actually get to the attraction if you're going at a time where the queue's quite low and you're just walking the whole way, it's really difficult to see your way in that pathway.
Yeah.
I have to put the light on in my phone because I'm paranoid of falling and breaking something.
Well, that's one occasion where using your phone is a good idea.
You see, not just a pretty face. But yeah, it's a great attraction. Really enjoy it. There's a great attraction story on Disney Plus about Space Mountain and how it came to be, and I highly recommend you watching that. Tomorrowland Speedway.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I must admit, it's dirty, it's smelly, I don't like it. The only time I rode it was to try and get a view of Tron. For little kids, it does give them that feeling of autonomy and being in control of a vehicle, even though they aren't really in charge of it. But they can still bump into other people. So, yeah, it's a great attraction for some people, but I think Jane and I are of one like mind.
Yeah, I have ridden this numerous times. Say with children when they were smaller. It does have something about it where it obviously appeals to something with the kids that they just, like you say, that maybe that autonomy of I'm driving a car like mum and dad type of thing. I don't know, but yeah, I have been dragged on it, and no doubt because my offspring know that it's not one of my favourite things to do. They next time we go, I'm sure they will make me do it because that's what they're like.
But I've got a rationale, Jane. Tomorrowland Speedway is the Tomorrowland Transit Authority. Speedway for kids, TTA for adults.
Exactly.
The
More
kids
relaxed.
don't understand why we get it.
No, see, we like the more relaxed, the more regal, the more refined approach to travel, don't we?
And, if possible, the sneak view into Space Mountain with the lights on.
Yeah. It's a nice way to put your feet up. You get a bit of a breeze. You time it right with fireworks. You can ride it back to back. Isn't that? Yeah, it's just, chill out time.
It never tends to have a particularly long queue either, so it's great. And I imagine on it now, with Tron up and running almost, that the views into Tron are something quite spectacular.
I would think so, yeah.
Under the Sea, Journey of a Little Mermaid.
Yeah, and who doesn't love Little Mermaid Journey? That's fine by me. I quite like this one. Again, it appeals to my, love of the old school dark rides. So, I would quite happily ride this at any point. Again, you got to look at your waiting time, maybe a 45-minute max sort of thing for me.
I'd say 30. It's an omnimover. It's never really going to have a really long wait.
True. And you guarantee it's moving, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
Plus.
I think I'm going to save 2 classics to last. And I love the fact that they are Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress and Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room.
The fact that we've got Walt Disney in the title.
Absolutely. Both of these are iconic, embedded in the history of Disney. Both of them relying so strongly on animatronics, which in my opinion, Disney Imagineering, when these were brought forward, were pioneers in this technology.
Yeah, I think these two, and again, along with it's a small world as well, because these were created when they were, and the expertise and the technical wizardry that been put into these, I think that's part and parcel why they have such a place in my heart, because it's that element of understanding how they've been constructed, that for the time that they were constructed and how they've been embellished over the years and being brought up to date, but keeping that strong ethos of what Walt wanted the parks to be about. And I think that appeals to the very soft inside part of me, and these are things that should be cherished, like we said before, and should be looked after, wrapped up in bubble wrap, and only let Michelle and Jane go and visit them.
Yeah, and I love the fact that it's an escape from the heat, lovely air conditioning, you're able to sit down, you're able to enjoy these attractions, and as much as we know what's coming next, it's always an enjoyable experience. And I suppose that sums up what going to the Magic Kingdom is like for us. Every time it's a magical experience, and every time we can approach it in different ways. For example, you could just go around and visit each attraction in each land, or you could do your favourites, or you could just try ones you've not tried for a long time before. There's so many ways that you can attract these attractions. All I would say is, before you go, do your research so that your littlies or your elderlies or even yourself know what to expect, because there is nothing worse stepping onto an attraction and having your child literally scared out of their mind because they don't understand it. Explain to them the history and the heritage of some of these older rides when the kids start complaining, there's not much tech on this, mum, and get them to see what we love about it.
Yeah, there's a great dose of nostalgia going on with the Magic Kingdom, and forever it should stay that way. And I think it's important, as with history in general, to understand where things started from and why they were developed in the first place, and that want to bring elements together that the whole family can enjoy together should be what takes the Disney parks forward in years to come. We need to get back to that vision of what Walt Disney actually wanted, and to make it a place for everybody to go and have fun and enjoy the time together.
100%. Right, guys, we're going to have to wrap it up on this extra long show this week. I hope you've enjoyed us prattle on about what we love on the attractions at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World. If you want to hear more from us, we have extra bonus shows over on our Patreon page, patreon.com/Disney Dreamgirls. Bonus shows as well as early releases of shows as well. And a big thank you to all of our supporters on that page that ensure that our podcast remains advert free. You can find us on the socials at Diz Dreamgirls, as well as our Disney Dreamgirls podcast family, where everyone is sharing their love of Disney and our love all together. It's a great way of seeing everybody's top tips as well. Until next week, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.